Fell in love with this mountain when I trekked to Everest Base Camp in 2018. At the time, I didn't do any actual climbing, and I thought it was for other people. Certainly fantastic. It's one of those mountains which, well, it's the mountain that I think is the most beautiful mountain in the world. It's not bad, is it? And it's something I've not wanted to do because I never believed I could do it. Based on what I've done since then, and encouraged by a lot of people, including people who worked for Jagged Globe, I put a lot of credit into their advice. I finally achieved my dream.
Ama Dablam, the iconic pointy mountain of the Khumbu Valley. From the first time you see it, you want to climb it. I've walked past it countless times. I've got several hundred pictures of it. Every time I've been at the valley, I've looked at it and gone, yeah, I want to go and have a look at that one day. My recent trip to Nepal, I was very fortunate. The trip I was leading finished the weekend the Ama Dablam trip started. So, being in Nepal, what else was I going to do? I went and joined the Ama Dablam trip. It's stunning. It was everything I wanted it to be. Enjoyed every step. Up to Camp 1, although there is a fixed rope, it's relatively easy ground. You just have a hand on it. A couple of scrambly type steps where you might just put your hand on the rock and step up.
I hope you've had a bit of sleep, Chris. With my coffin, you're not going to get much more.
Any advice for somebody thinking about Ama Dablam?
Get very fit. Do it before you're 65, if you can, but don't think you're too old at any time. Yeah, and just really give it a go, you know, and take the advice of a lot of people who climbed it. I took the advice of a lot of people who climbed this as clients, who've done this as guides, and that really was important for me because I felt prepared, you know, I felt really prepared for it.
Leaving Camp 1, the fun starts. It's climbing all the way to the summit. Initially, scrambling over rocks, some slightly technical, more vertical sections. You're passing the yellow tower, the famous technical crux of the climb.
Everybody was worried about things like the yellow tower, you know, but actually that was the best day of all. You know, that bit of the rock climbing was fantastic, and I really loved it, and that was one of the best days that I'll always remember. It really was good.
So the section known as the Yellow Tower is technically the hardest part, the crux part of the route, really. So 10 to 15 metres of near vertical rock. So using the Jumar, you might want to foot loop or fashion a foot loop out of a sling or a small bit of rope, just so you've got something to stand in. There are little ledges if you can find them, and it is possible to free climb it, protecting yourself with the Jumar. Might also find the Sherpas drop another rope down, so you're effectively on a top rope as well. Camp 2 would be where the majority of parties attempt to summit from. It would be an early start, typically 1 AM. Very cold, might be wearing crampons. Crampons might not be required until a bit further up the mountain. It does depend on conditions. On my summit attempt, crampons were worn beyond the grey tower. It just got to a point where the rock became too icy. Before you reach the mushroom ridge, there's a bit of a descent to go down. So where you've been climbing all the time, managing ropes in descent was a little bit trickier. And then a steep gully to climb to get onto the ridge proper. A big day, looking at 1,000 metres of ascent from Camp 2 to the summit. Pre-dawn on any mountain always feels the coldest to me. The sun's up, but it's not on you yet. Every 3 or 4 steps I can remember kind of wriggling my toes, wriggling my fingers, just trying to stay warm. Not being cold, but just being pretty uncomfortable, to be honest. Though the sun's going to shine, things are going to warm up, things are going to improve.
That final day summit push, it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I pushed my body to limits I didn't know were there. And I suppose the highlight was the encouragement I got, because when I felt I think I need to turn back, I knew I was being watched, and we were in constant radio contact, and people were saying, "You're almost there, you're almost there," you know, and they were right. And I went on, and you dig something out.
Not easy, but it's fantastic.
Seems to be never ending, and then all of a sudden you're at the final rope length, and the summit plateau just levels out in front of you. And there's not a lot of distance to go from the top of the rope. 3 or 4 steps, and you're on the summit of Ama Dablam. The first thing you see really is Lhotse and Everest in the distance, but the 360-degree view, stunning.
And I don't know, I can get emotional, but this is the most fantastic thing I've ever done, you know?
It's energy for the going down. Yeah.
Congratulations, Manny, on your
Yeah,
first summit.
thank you, sir. Cheers.
Cheers.